Yo, what is up? We are back. Pavy Daily Takes, another Saturday edition. Got my man's Joe here, recapping the week in the NBA. It's been a very interesting week. Um, Wemby had 50 this week against the Wizards, but he had 50. His
Shot 15
highest,
threes in that game.
he dropped 50. De'Aaron Fox had 60 last night in a losing effort against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards hit a crazy game clincher shot. Anthony Davis, the Lakers have had a good week. Um, what did AD have? 40 and
Yeah,
what was it?
40.
Yeah, 40 and what we feel 40 and what else though? What was the full stat line? 40, like
I got
13, something like that.
yeah, mm-hmm.
LeBron, 4 straight triple doubles. The Cavaliers can't seem to lose basketball games. Chet got hurt. So there's a lot to get to this week. But I kind of want to start in Dallas. I want to start in Dallas because I think Dallas had a very interesting week. Obviously, Klay Thompson went back to Golden State in a losing effort, but a great game. Like there's actually been, I know people have like their cores about maybe the play style, but there's been some great games early on this season, like some really, really good basketball games that I've really enjoyed that definitely had a different level of intensity early on this season. But yeah, the Mavericks went back to Golden State. They caught an L. They also caught an L to Denver when Kyrie, I think it was either last Saturday or Sunday, I think it was. And Kyrie had like 44 points, but they lost. They lost to Utah. Kyrie didn't play, but they lost to Utah. Do you think there's anything going on in Dallas? Like something wrong with anything in Dallas, or is it just like early season woes? I'll say this. One of the things that I saw in crunch time, I don't like the decisions that Luka Doncic is making. There was
That's
a there was a game, the Denver game. Kyrie has 44 points. You can pull up the play. I think it's like a minute left in the game. Kyrie has 44 points. He's rolling. Luka decides to dribble the shot clock all the way down and shoot a step back 30-footer. Like you playing like it's a video game, bro. Even the Warriors game. Now, Steph fouled the hell out Quentin Grimes. That should have been a 4-point play. But then they get the ball back. Again, Luka just dribbled the ball down the court, shoot some agreed. Not granted, it wasn't too much time left, but I think somebody like Kyrie could have got a better look. And then even the Utah game, you fall asleep on defense and let John Collins just get a dunk right by you. So a lot of the, and granted, you don't win or lose a game on one play, but a lot of the things that Luka has been doing in crunch time, I just haven't liked. And again, this is year what for him? 7, 8?
8, somewhere around there. Yeah.
You ain't young no more, bro. Like all that shit was cute early on. You ain't young no more, dog. Like it's you again. You've been to a conference finals. You've been to a finals. At a certain point in time, we gonna start looking at you as to be the reason why you can't get over the hump because you got a talented squad. Squad is great, and even when they got to the finals last year, I didn't think Luka's play was like head over heels the reason why they were there. I was looking at the others. I was looking at Daniel Gafford and Lively, who was out rebounding and everything, both looking like Dennis Rodman. I was looking at Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington, who decided to somehow become Scottie Pippen the whole playoffs. Even Kyrie Irving was out there guarding people like he was Gary Payton halftime. So I was looking at those things more so than I was looking at Luka Doncic. Now, granted, he had some moments. Obviously, he had the shot over Rudy. You know what I'm saying? He had some moments, but I was looking at their defense as more component as to why they made it as far as they did, as opposed to just him. Because even when they got to the finals, you saw what Dallas did. They just picked on Luka the whole time. So, I mean, what do you think about the Mavericks? What do you think? I won't say they're starting off slow because they're not like the Sixers or something. I think they're still 5-7, 6-7. Like I expect this team to, be a close to a 50-win team. But are there any troubling things that you see from the Mavericks so far?
Yeah, really just to piggyback on what you said for the most part. Like you said, they're 5-7 overall. I saw somewhere they're 1-6 in clutch games. So that just means basically any close games that they're basically losing any game that comes down to the wire that where you need to make those big plays, you need to make those big stops and those big rebounds. They're losing. They're 1-6 in those games. Like you said, Luka has a tendency to launch those really bad 30-footers, and also a lot of the stuff that's been happening to him has been a lot of insane. Like Jordan Clarkson hit that insane all balance jumper the other night when the Jazz beat him. Curry went bananas. He was playing with a whole nother chip on his shoulder because the whole Clay thing. He hit some insane regular Curry shot. Durant hit big shots on them. They can't get over the top when it comes to closing these games over these big time stars. I think over time it'll smooth out because we know what this team is capable of. We know they have the pieces and we know everything will be cool. But yeah, they got to do a better job. And like you said, it's on Luka of closing these games out and making better decisions as a team. But our offense hasn't been too bad. I think the addition of Clay has been kind of what we all expected. I think
Yeah.
Clay production about 15, 16 points per game on a decent clip from three. I just think they gotta work it out. They gotta get the wrinkles out. Even though Clay isn't really the type of player to come in and you change your whole offense around, he's still another factor that you have to keep in mind as a Luka and the Kyrie that you still have to get used to. I think that they smoothing out the wrinkles and eventually this team will get on the run and we'll see why they went to the finals last year. But they also Lively's been out of the lineup. I know. I do like what I'm getting, what they're getting from Najee Marshall. But yeah, they're just smoothing out the wrinkles, and it's just a tough start. They'll be all right once they have a couple team meetings and JK gets on them and Luka. Once they look up and realize that they can't continue to play this dumb basketball for a whole course of 82 game season, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're 7th in offense. They're 14th in defensive rating so far as it stands. So it's not like, I mean, that's pretty like where you want to be. You know, if you said I can't anticipate why they would, take a drop on offense. I can't anticipate why they would, bump up defensively, like you said, as they work some things out. Obviously, Clay isn't who he once was defensively, but I don't think he's just a turnstile. PJ Washington has been out, Lively has been out. Yeah, so they do have some things to work through. Also, getting their legs underneath them. So, like, I'm with you. Granted, yes, even in some of those clutch games, yes, people hit some tough shots.
Yeah.
You can play some better defense some of these times.
Like you said, that Luka shit was unacceptable. The dunk and then the college section right up and jumper. But that stuff I've been saying about Luka for years, and I've been getting killed in the comments and by Thomas and etc. for my criticism of Luka. But at some point, the criticism is always going to catch up to him until you can win games and win something with it. You can't keep getting away with the lack of every detail with the sport.
At some point, it's you again. Like he on year 7, 8 now. Again, all that stuff is cute at first. You get to be about your mid-20s, and we done seen you in moments, and you losing every time. At some point in time, brother, it's you. It ain't your teammates, it's you. So, again, we'll see how this season rounds out for them, but I don't look at them as in too much of a troubling situation. Now, a team I do think is in a troubling situation is the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, there have been bright spots for them. I think Jared McCain, really bright spot. Honestly, even we're going to bring it back to the Sixers, but I think it was grossly overrated how quote-unquote bad this rookie class was. It's a lot of guys who I like.
It is a lot of guys that run across.
It's a lot of guys who I like. Stephon Castle can ball.
Yeah, really
you saw what he did against the Lakers. He can ball. The Wizards, like all the Wizards young guys look nice. Alexander Scar, he looked decent. Like he could at least make an all-defensive team at some point in time in his career. Bub Carrington can play to me. I like what Zach Edey's doing. I fuck with Zach Edey. He just needs to stop fouling. But I like what Zach Edey's doing. He can play. I haven't seen too much of Reed Shepherd, honestly, because I just haven't watched too many Rockets games. I'll be honest with you. So I haven't seen too much of Reed Shepherd. Also, they just have the Rockets just have such a log jam at so many positions. Mm-hmm. Like if there's one team that I know everybody talking about Giannis and things like that. If there's one team that could maybe make a trade for a guy, it's the Rockets. Just because they have a log jam in certain positions, they could probably get rid of some of these younger assets and get like a definitive veteran in there. But Reece Shea has had his moments. Like we just spoke on Jared McCain. I like this rookie class. I think the rookie class is great. I don't know if we're going to have a whole bunch of superstars and generational players, but we definitely got guys that can help your basketball team win games in this rookie class, in my personal opinion. I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, also Donovan Clingan has been really good for
Donovan Clingan has been really good. He had, I think he had 8 blocks against the Timberwolves.
He's always in the right spots on defense. He finishes around the rim. I do like Connect finally came along. He had a really good game starting for Rui. I think he had 19, went like 7%, had like a perfect game. He's coming along. But yeah, like you said, this rookie class has definitely been exceeding expectations as far as the national narrative on what they were going to be heading into the league.
For sure. But Sixers, they're 2-10. They have the worst record in the Eastern Conference so far. Embiid is back, but when I saw Embiid on the TV screen, my first thought was, oh, damn, he lost weight. It's my first thought. Then he started playing. I didn't go too crazy because, again, it's game 1. You ain't played since the Olympics. So I didn't go too crazy. And then you missed the next game because you're not doing back-to-backs. I didn't go too crazy. But Embiid is 30. I think he's 30. He's had a lot of injuries. He didn't look great in the Olympics.
He had
I
moments.
watched the Olympics.
After the first couple games, he came on. He came along eventually.
He had moments, but he didn't look great.
He came along.
He did, but he didn't. I'd say he didn't look great. I
Yeah.
didn't say he looked terrible. I said he didn't look great.
He wasn't great consistently, but he was great at some point. Like there's a couple games where it's like, damn, if Embiid don't do these things, the outcome of the game still happen this way.
Fair. So I think Embiid will be fine. I'm not gonna. I think Embiid obviously average what he gonna average. Like he'll be good. I think he'll be fine. But I think the Sixers have actual trouble. I think one thing is like, yo, you trying to work in Paul George, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he not gonna play, and if Maxey hurt, and he not gonna play back to backs, and you kind of got a new team, like you got a lot of guys who weren't there last year.
You do.
And you 2-10, so now you're trying to build. Granted, it's super early. Luckily for them, nobody in the East outside of Boston and the Cavs have really extremely established themselves so far. But you got to start putting together some basketball games at some point in time. And I think there's been a lot of things surrounding this team all season to us so far that don't have nothing to do with basketball. Like Embiid, granted, now I do not disagree with what Embiid did based off of what the columnist said about him. Sometimes you gotta just let people know you can't say that about me. I get it, but that becomes a narrative, right? PG, he want to be on the podcast saying things. Those could become narratives. So I actually think this team has potential to just deal with a lot, and they got to deal with a lot while trying to work guys in. Again, like I said, Embiid not going to play back-to-backs. Paul George might not play too many back-to-backs. So I don't really understand how you even gain a rhythm for this season while doing that. But what's your thoughts on the Sixers?
Dealing with the injuries. But obviously you got your bright spots with those injuries. You see it year and year. Obviously injuries are devastating, but like most good teams and pretty much every team in the league has had to deal with injuries over the last couple of years. What the right mentality is next man up. So that's Jerry McCain, who shot his way, like you mentioned, he shot his way up to the Rookie of the Year early rankings. He had 30 the other day. I think they're getting good minutes from the guy from France, Jean Bousile. I don't know if I pronounced that right. They're getting good minutes from him. But they're kind of just, trying to get through the struggle. Paul George, like you said, he's struggling, but I'm not too concerned with him or Embiid struggles earlier at this point. It's early, and a lot of especially with these players nowadays, with all the volume of jump shots, especially a player like Paul George shoots, is they're streaky. So I mean, his inability to hit jumpers so far, first off his knee sprain, is not surprising at all to me. I think in a week or so, he'll once he gets rhythm, he starts getting the shots up. When he gets used to the new offense, used to the new team, new city, all this stuff, and I think they'll get rolling eventually. I'm not giving them a pass for how bad they are right now. But it's understandable. And hopefully, what a good team will do from this is they will gain from this. Now you realize you maxed out. Now we realize, we got a guy we can rely on. Maybe we can close some lineups with McCain, Maxey heading forward. Maybe you learn from these things. You learn from all the guys that are playing right now. Drummond gives them good spot minutes. But hopefully you just try to learn as much as you can from guys who are backups. You can use them in the future. But I think they'll be fine. Like you said, Embiid, he hasn't played anywhere near what the Embiid, like last year Embiid was a roll out of bed and give you 36 literally. I think he's averaging in the first 2 games back at around 15, 16 points per game, and he just looks lackadaisical, just all around, like he's not. He don't look like Joel Embiid. I don't expect that to continue. Like you say, he's 30. 30 is older, but it's not. We see with a lot of the older.
His 30 is different though.
Is it really?
Yes. Here's why.
Yes. Last year though.
Yes, but he's had a lot of lower body injuries, like a lot of them. I'm with you. 30 isn't too old, but I think his 30 is different than a Jokic's 30, right? Like I think just at a certain point in time, you have so many injuries, your mobility is just not the same. I mean, you got to think about it. The man came into the league, missed 2 years. He's had, how many times had he torn his meniscus up? At least 2.
At least 2.
I'm just saying, and then what was his injury that made him miss all these games? Like, what was he hurt with?
We don't even know. They didn't say that, huh? They didn't.
They never said what they never once said what he was actually hurt with. So at a certain point in time, you got to wonder hey, is his mobility the same? Now, granted, I don't want to panic too early because it's still very, very early. He might come out and go on a heater. And I think at some point in time, he'll get back to looking like him. But I'm just saying. You gotta wonder. Because
Yeah,
his 30 ain't everybody 30. And I think that LeBron, Steph, some of the recent athletes
Steph Durant.
who, KD, who have been very, very effective well into their, 30s and even 40s. If you look at LeBron, have skewed our view of how good athletes are supposed of how good athletes are supposed to be elite. It wasn't always that people would just playing until 38 years old and being elite. It used to be if you was 38 out there, you looked like Kevin Willis when he was 38 out there. Like Larry Bird didn't play the game that long. Isaiah Thomas didn't play the game that long. Like a lot of your greats didn't play the game that long. So like, I think it's just skewed the view of, some of these people. But moving on, unless you had any more thoughts.
No, really no.
The Bucks, they just lost again. Like as we speak to the Hornets, they lost by 1 point. Shout out to Hornets, man. Again, I don't think LaMelo at times plays actual basketball, but I think he's figuring it out. It's very, very fun to watch. And also the Hornets just have they finally lost enough to have a solid collection of talent. So some nights they're gonna win games because they just do actually have a solid collection of talent. So shout out them. But the Bucks lost again. I don't think Dame. I think Dame is still out with concussion. Giannis has been playing incredible this season. Giannis is balling. He's been playing great, but they keep losing basketball games. As I look at them right now, they're right outside the play-in. I think that eventually they'll win some games and push themselves. At least they'll be a play-in team. And if the Bucks are a play-in team, I don't think you want to see the Bucks in the play-in. But there's not going to be many trades you can make. I think the one thing that people have to look at trades when people talk about trades is, the other team has to want your assets, right? I don't think the Bucks have many things that other teams want at this moment in time. Same what I just said about Giannis, I'm going to say the same about Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, about 33 years old, coming off 2 ankle surgeries. I don't think Chris Middleton coming back just makes this team elite. I don't even know what Chris Middleton looks like. Granted, Chris Middleton in that playoff series against the Pacers last year, when everybody was out, he was balling. But this is 2 surgeries on both ankles later. I don't know how that looks. And even if you want to talk about like a Giannis trade, as I look around the league, I don't really know where you can go.
Shit, Brooklyn. So that'd be something like if they're willing to take on a ton of picks, something like Brooklyn.
But the thing about Brooklyn is like now we're like
hiring. Something like
But like, are you in a better situation in Brooklyn?
We talking for Giannis?
Yeah, for Giannis. Oh. Like if your goal is to win championships, are you actually in a better situation in Brooklyn?
If they keep Clax, himself, Dennis and Cam.
We going to the ship with that?
It's a bigger. Maybe Giannis looking for that. It's a bigger market, a new opportunity.
Granted, you definitely extend your window because one of the things about the Bucks is they're just an older basketball team, so you would extend your window. I think it would be a great deal, for the Bucks if a great deal is strong because you are still losing Giannis, and if you lose Giannis, your economy is literally gonna suffer. Like if you're going downtown Milwaukee, there's like a Giannis mural on like a side of a building. Like, they're that serious. Like your economy will suffer. So the only place I think that would make realistic sense if he wanted to leave is Houston.
They have the assets.
They have the assets. They have the picks, and they have the assets to give up some of the assets and still have young. I'm gonna say assets a lot. Still have young assets still on the team that you can still grow with. Like you would still have Jalen Green. You would still have Şengün. You might have a Reed Shepherd still with somebody like that. But they have the assets, the picks, and they have the players that, like, if you wanted to make a trade, you could actually do it. But so for me, even with like the Giannis trade scenarios, it's not like there's like a bunch of suitors. Like the Warriors, I don't know how you get over there. I think it would be cool, but how do you get over to the Warriors? Who they got that you want? You can trade me Buddy Hield. You lost your goddamn mind.
They got Kuminga, Pojeski, and Moody.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not getting it done. That's not getting it done. I'm not gonna lie to you. Unless he walk up into my office and say, "I only want to go to Golden State," that's not getting it done, brother. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, with Milwaukee, I think they really missed what they traded away. You desperately missed Drew Holiday, a point of attack defender to get over screens, blow stuff up. Also give you 15, 16 on offense, shoot the three ball, spread the ball around. I think that they desperately need what need what they traded away. And Drew Holidays do not grow on trees. In the NBA, it's about 6, 7, or if that. You know, the Marcus Smarts, Drew Holidays, those guys, they don't. Those point of attack guards who can literally change the course of the game by making those big stops down the stretch and just put pressure on these elite guards for a whole 48 minutes, the whole night, whether if it's full court, half court, or whatever you need them to do, blitz screen, go over screens, go under screens. Just they don't, and I think that they desperately missed that. And if they go back in time, I don't think they make this trade. Even though it's so easy to say that stuff now, but you got to sometimes the obvious is not always.
Yeah, I said that shit when it happened.
You did. But at times the obvious is not always obvious. They did what everybody would have did, but if you go back in time, I think the GM will probably, if he could see in the future, he will reverse this.
Again, I always thought that they slightly overreact. I said that they slightly overreacted the whole time. Somebody said Giannis to the Thunder. I feel you. They do have the assets. They do have the pieces. But if I'm the Thunder, do I have to do that?
I don't think the Thunder want to blow what they got.
Yeah, I don't think you actually have to do that. Like
they are winning games with no Chet, no Hartenstein, and
yeah. I mean, I mean, we could like move to the Thunder. Like, I think Shea, if this might be a year where Shea might get MVP. If they keep playing like this and they keep winning basketball games, it might be MVP season for him. I do worry about Chet, though. I do worry about Chet. Anytime you
play every game last year, almost.
Yeah, but when you're dealing with someone with a hip, bro, like literally, when old people break their hip, they might die in a couple months.
He didn't break his hip though, did he?
He broke like a bone in like his hip. He wasn't like a full fracture of the hip, but he did break a bone in his hip. Like when older people break their hip, it's a serious issue.
Yeah,
not to say, now granted, I know the man getting the best care of all time, but you want a man to come back off a broken whatever in your hip and still be as mobile as he needs to be?
At 20 years old, 21, 19?
I'm just saying, I just think hip injuries, I just get scared when people have hip injuries.
If he was like 29 or 30, like your boy Embiid, then I'd understand. But he young as hell. So long as he could get back on track from that, I think he'd be fine.
But I know you said you want to talk about the Thunder. What's your thoughts on the Thunder? What have you been seeing from them that you like and love?
I think that they play a very unique brand of basketball. They share the ball on offense, on defense. The rotation they're there, and to the point where they can make it for the fact that they are missing 7 inches from the starting center, whether if you want to call it Jalen Williams or Isaiah Joe, whoever you want to consider the designated 5 has been since Chet has been hurt. They do a great job of running around and backing each other up and making those correct reads defensively. And I think they do a good job harassing people. And on offense, they attack you from everywhere. Shea off the dribbles, spot up threes, just everything you. Chris Finch. No, wait, that's not Chris Finch. That's But
I do not know the coach's name, but yes, he's doing one hell of a job.
He's doing a hell of a job over there. I just think that you got a guy that can close for you, and you got Jalen Williams. His play has I think he's averaging like almost 27, 28 since Chet went out. He's showing up. He's giving you that extra boost. Isaiah Joe, who's stepped into the starting lineup since Chet went out. He's out there all over the place. It's just they play a really good brand of all around basketball. And I think that if anybody wants to, I'm not mad at anybody having him as a favorite to come out of the West or top 3, finish top 3 this season. They're doing their thing. And now Hartenstein's also supposed to be back in the next couple weeks. So
which will be huge for them. And then when you do get both of them back again, I thought the main thing, the reason why they couldn't beat the Mavericks was just because Chet was just getting assaulted on the glass. Like they just didn't have with Lively and with Gafford out there. He was just getting.
That's a lot of Chet last year for his first playoff appearance, first real season. He had a tall task.
Yeah, like he was just getting assaulted on the glass, and they just couldn't rebound with him. You bring Hartenstein in there, a guy who's physical, and again allows you to run different lineups. Like you can put them both on the court at the same time. Put Chet at the 4, put Hark at the 5, and go Williams. Like it gives you so many lineup combinations that you can run. And yeah, like their team, like they go very, very deep. Like being able to bring Caruso and Carson Wallace off your bench to harass guards is kind of crazy. Like that's your bench. And then they got 5 guys who can shoot, dribble, pass. Like Isaiah Joe can't miss a shot this season. Everybody can pretty much take you off the dribble and go get a bucket. And with them playing small, they can switch everything. They fly around. They can group rebound. And I think the coach name is Mike Doganaut, if I'm pronouncing his name right. He's doing one hell of a job. I don't know who won Coach of the Year last year. Was it him?
It might have been.
I can't remember who won Coach of the Year last year, but He gonna get some votes for coach of the year this year for sure for the job that he's doing. And yeah, I'm not really the only quote unquote sure things in the league that I've seen this season. Sure things are the Boston Celtics, Oklahoma City Thunder, and damn it, I say it, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm
Um,
mad at that.
are you? Granted, I think last time we talked, the Cleveland Cavaliers were what 10-0, something like that. They're 14-0 now. They had a good win against the Bulls. I forgot who else they had a win with this week. They came back They came back down the stretch and won the game. I forgot who it was against, but they came back down the stretch and won the game. I know some people still don't believe in this Cleveland Cavaliers squad. Are you a believer in the like? Have you number one? I can't remember if you said you believed in them like at first. Well, no, actually that's a bad question because I think we both believe in the Cavs to be a good basketball team. Are you ready to say that they can make a championship run this season? Do you think that if we line them both up in a few months, I'm assuming we think Boston gonna be the team that's there. Maybe we think it's gonna be the Knicks or somebody else, but I'm assuming that we all think Boston is gonna be the team that's there. Do you think they can pose a problem for the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series?
A problem for sure. Like I said last spot, they get good play night in and night out from your front court and your back court. That's a lot to ask for. Some teams you only getting, you can only probably like you look at the Lakers, you only relying on. You know you're getting good front court play. Now you don't know what the hell your guard.
You don't know what the fuck you getting from the back court.
You don't know what the hell going on with D'Lo some nights. But the Cavs don't have that issue, and they have size to go along with that. They have size, length, athleticism, perimeter defense. Even Okoro has been playing well for them this year. But like I said, I like to see with the Cavs. They're 14-0. They're one of 4 teams to start 14-0 with the Warriors, the 16 Warriors, the Rockets with Akeem and the Mavs.
The Celtics didn't do it. Boston didn't do it. Boston, they didn't do it.
It's just the Rockets, the Mavs, and the Warriors in this year's Cleveland. Those are the 4 teams that start 14-0, and all of them won the ship. I mean, all went to the finals except for they all went to the finals. Except Dallas went to the West Finals. But
fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's sustainable. They stay healthy. I really like Evan Mobley this season. I think he's made that all-star jump. His ability to defend and finish around the paint. I remember we ran into Evan Mobley at the highlight room on your birthday.
We were making jokes. We take your ass to the gym and get a hook shot.
Hey, you must have did his thing. He's having a pretty good year on both sides of the floor. I just think you can't underrate those bigs who can kind of impact the game like he does, night in, night out from the perimeter, from the paint. While also giving you about 16, 17 efficiently on offense and shooting the 3 ball as well. Even though Mitchell's points per game number is down, he's hitting all the big shots for you. He's carrying you home in these games. Garland is shaking everybody up and running the point as he should. They hit threes. They defend. They check every box, and it's hard to find a team that can really do all those things very well consistently, and they keep showing it night in, night out.
I mean, I think they got 10 guys who can play in the playoff series. And Max Strus isn't even back. I keep mentioning Max Strus because I fuck with Max Strus, bro. Max Strus can shoot the basketball. He's I don't think he's a great defender, but he at least poses the problem for you on defense. I think he's better than George Niang. Well, I know he's better than George Niang. And it's maybe some other guys. So I know Sam Merrill. I don't know if I will 100% trust him, but the man can shoot 30% from 3 on 6 shots a game. Dean Wade, like they have a very and I think that style wise, I think they fight a different style than what the Boston Celtics do. I think they have more size than what the Celtics do. I think that, I guess what you had to look at against Boston is like, can they guard the things that they do well, right? Like obviously, KP is gonna be there. Like you got Mobley, you got Jared for KP, but can you guard Tatum? Can you guard Brown? Like, can you guard those guys, especially when your backcourt is kind of small? You know what I'm saying? And like, so, you got Garland and you got Mitchell out there. If you're a team that, once he gets to the paint, you can just funnel them to Evan and Allen. Boston don't really care about getting to the paint. They can go out there and shoot 53s. So I guess like the thing is like, can their perimeter defense hold up against a team like Boston? But at the same time, can you deal with the size of Cleveland? I think they would have a better chance of guarding them because you got Derek White and you got Drew Holiday in the in your backcourt. So I think you could pose some real problems for them. But that's when you need Evan Mobley and Jared Allen and those guys to just step up and just be better. I think Evan Mobley is playing like the player. I know his rookie year. I think people are giving him like KG comparisons. I'm not saying the man out there looking like Kevin Garnett, but he's showing you why he was getting some of those comparisons because his offensive game is just more well-rounded. Granted, I don't know if it's confidence or like what it is, but his offensive game is just more well-rounded than what it was, I think, last year, and even like the previous year before that. So if I put my money on today, I would still put my money on the Celtics. But I think with Cleveland, we're never gonna believe in Cleveland unless they just do something.
They do it
to make us like it's not a squad where it's like it's not a sexy squad. You know what I'm saying? It's like they brought over like, oh, this big name and this big name and put them together. Like now they run off. Like it's not a real sexy squad. Like it was a squad they were decent last year. They weren't bad, but they weren't world beaters. I don't think anybody came into the season thinking that they were world beaters. So it's not a sexy squad really. Even the way they win games, I don't think they win games with a whole bunch of highlight plays. They just beat you. If you look at top 10 countdowns, I guarantee you a lot of Cleveland games ain't got no players on there.
And I'm not one of those people who thinks that like it don't matter if it's not in June. No, I'm high. I think the regular season matters. I'm opposite of that. I think what they're doing right now matters a lot. I think they're sending a message to the league. I think they're sending a message to themselves. I think they're proving to themselves and just the league in general that they can compete. You're gonna come to Cleveland. You see Cleveland on your schedule. You better be ready because we will be. And also in just this era of pretty much parity, since we haven't seen the team repeat since the Warriors in 17, 18. That's that's 6 years ago now. About to going on 7 years ago. So a new era of parity. Why can't that next team that pop up in surprise teams and get grab a chip beat Cleveland? The Raptors surprise teams a lot. I mean, Boston was somewhat favored, but people still even question them. The Mavs almost stole one last year. Like it's been the Nuggets they got a championship. Miami made it to the championship. It's just been the NBA's been kind of like obviously with the new collective bargaining agreement and it's harder to keep teams together. It opens it up for teams like Cleveland to come in and snag a championship in this era. So the timing is perfect for what they're doing. As long as they can sustain it, then I think that they can be looking at something possible. Something.
And again, I'm with you. I'm with all that. And again, Kenny Atkinson, man, I think Kenny Atkinson is a really good basketball coach, and just stuff he's been around. He spent time at Golden State. I always keep mentioning what he did with that Nets team, when he really kind of like set the culture for what the Nets when they had that little run, when they were able to attract the KD and they were able to attract the Kyrie. If you look the year before, he was the one who took the Nets to the playoffs and gave the Sixers a hell of a series when they were favored to win. Even the way he used guys, the way he used like a Jared Dudley. D'Lo had his only All-Star season when he was with him. So he knows how to get the best of the guys. And again, then he left there, goes to Golden State. I think that anytime you win a culture like Golden State, you're gonna learn something, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think he kind of, brought a little bit of that over here, with the sharing the ball. Like most times when Donovan Mitchell was playing, it was a lot of Donovan Mitchell dribbling. It ain't been a lot of Donovan Mitchell dribbling this year. Sometimes Donovan Mitchell be in the corner, I be forgetting he on the court sometimes. He be over there just chilling sometimes. And then when you need him, he got you. But it's more of a total team effort, not just like, here Donovan dribble 96 times and shoot some cool step back three, which is what I thought it was a lot of times, especially the playoffs last year. You saw a lot of Donovan Mitchell just making amazing plays. It works, but that's not the best way to win championships, especially when you're a smaller guard. It just puts a lot on you. Moving on to that, couple more people and teams I want to talk about. You want to talk about the Miami Heat and Tyler Hero. I'm gonna be real with you. I have not watched a single Miami Heat game this season. I am not somebody who clicks when I see lead pass and I see Miami Heat playing. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't click on the Miami Heat games. I will say this about the Miami Heat, though. I think it's over. Yeah, I just think it's over. Like for this duration, we got this team have been pretty solid for about 5 years. I think we forget, but they've had an actual 5-year run. I think it doesn't, because they haven't actually won anything, and one of the sips came in the bubble. And then the other one, when they went to the ship, it came in the bubble. And then the other one came.
The Nuggets, they got smoked.
The Nuggets, they got smoked. So I think we forget that this has been a really good squad for about 4 or 5, 6 years now. Jimmy is about 35 years old. I mean, you still got a young star in Bam, but you got Jimmy. What happens with Jimmy? I don't even think Jimmy even looks like Jimmy Butler this season for real. Like I said, I don't watch him every night, but what is Jimmy doing? Jimmy is giving you 16 points, and he been out there. Like I don't, 16 points and he been out there. And I don't think his defense has been like incredible the same way like that we used to seeing him play. Like I think it's kind of over for this team. Like they weren't able to really, like they'll be a decent squad. And you think that if you you'll get into the playoffs and be able to scheme something up. But I think it's kind of over with for this group with the Heat. Like I don't know what they can do besides be decent.
That's fair. Are you basically no more top of the seed, no more top 3 seeds for Miami with this?
Like, I don't like. Yeah, I don't see that. Like I don't foresee anything where you play against Boston now and you finna do what you did the other year when you went up 3-0, damn near lost the lead, but ended up beating them anyway. I don't see it.
That's fair. But yeah, like we talked about earlier with the bright spots, like they aren't really playing good basketball so far this year, but Tyler Hero has been exceptional. I don't watch too much Heat, but I have paid attention closely to what Tyler Hero has been doing, which basically he's eliminated basically the mid-range jumper. He's shooting a ton of threes and he's getting a ton of layups, shooting transition threes. He's getting out. He's killing just from the perimeter. Basically what you need in today's game. Jimmy's been disappointed mainly because it's a contract year for him, brother. So kind of like Ben Simmons, those two guys going to that contract years entering free agency.
But he's 35. Again, I think that like Steph, Bron, KD, Tom Brady, if you want to go to a different word, Tom Brady have skewed our views of how good people supposed to be. Mm-hmm. He's 35. Did he get drafted in 2010?
I think so. That sounds about
Jimmy Butler was playing basketball when I lived in Chicago. I ain't lived in Chicago in a decade. At a certain point in time, it's kind of over with. Your days of being a max player just might be done. It's actually a possibility.
That's fair.
So even my Tyler Hero thing is like, yeah, he's scoring the ball, but is that more to like necessity than it is like he just got so much better?
It is. It's also efficient though, and it's coming. He's hitting the deep threes, the dribble handoffs, and they're running stuff through him, and it's going down. It looks legit to me, the Tyler Hero stuff. I mean, it's kind of like somebody has to score, but still somebody has to score. They haven't been getting shit out of Terry Rozier. They traded for him a couple years ago. He's not really giving you anything consistent. I think maybe 13, 14 points per game. He hasn't shown up. Bam has he had a good game the other night, but he's been very inconsistent this season. Not the usual, the Bam that you would need when Jimmy Butler is declining. You think you want to get more from him. But
my whole thing with Bam was like, people thought, Bam gonna give us 25 points. No, he's not. In what world do you think Bam Adebayo is about to give you 25? I remember arguing with a Heat fan, like, yeah, Bam Adebayo give. Like, Bam Adebayo is not. No, Bam Adebayo is 18, 10, 2 and 2. That is peak Bam Adebayo. 18, give me about 18 points, give me a couple mid-range jumpers, but give me defensive player of the year type production on defense. I think they just need one more guy. I think they put a lot on Jovic. Like I remember they didn't even want to include Jovic in trades, like for Dame. I don't think that they regret not trading for Dame, but they didn't even want to put like Jovic in trades. So I just think that they're missing that one extra guy, and I don't know where he comes from. I don't know how they get him. That's why I think just for this squad is just kind of like kind of over with, unfortunately. And again, it was a great run. It's a great run. Mm-hmm. I forget what they did in 18-19, but I'm sure they were decent. Didn't they win 50 games that year? When that like Jimmy's first year in I think that was Jimmy's first year. That was Jimmy's first year there.
His first year leaving from Philly. His first year from Philly was after the 19 season.
So it was what? So it was 19 to pandemic year was the first year, right?
Yeah, the pandemic year.
Mm-hmm. Finals that year. I think the next year when they came back, didn't they win what their number one seed in the Eastern Conference? The next year when they came back, they were because they went to Game 7 with Boston. That's when Boston won. Then I think the next year they came back. I forget what they did, but they were still. Was that the year? I think the next year they might have lost in the first round to the Bucks. I think. Mm-hmm. Then you going to run as an eighth. Like they've had a good 5-year run. Like you had a good 5-year run. It just might be.
They got some pairs played. They got some pairs played for sure. They
Got
got
some,
Pay. They got Kendrick Nunn, Lil something. They got some guys. They got
and
Pay.
and
They got
and again at some
like
point in time.
shit.
And also at some point in time, you're gonna have to get some names. Like I love developing the G League guys. I love it. But at some point in time, you're gonna have to get some names, some guys. And I don't know where they coming from. I look at their assets. I don't know where. So I think it's over for him. Shout out Tyler Hero for the way he's been playing. But yeah, but last but not least, I want to talk about Show Squad, the LA Lakers. They've been looking good. I actually went to the Lakers Grizzlies game. I had some thoughts when Dalton Kmet went on that heater. I think he needs to play more. I wouldn't be mad if the starting lineup that they put out there last night was just a starting lineup.
Not mad at that. That was the connect.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
That was the connect.
That was the Connect Reeves backcourt basically with Cam Reddish at the 3, LeBron at the 4, and at the 5. I would be mad at that and just running LeBron as your point forward, your point guard on offense. Because I do think you need shooting. I think Connect can help you right now. I don't expect Austin to shoot the ball the way he shot not that because you would want Ruri in that lineup as well. So with Ruri at a sprained ankle, but I wouldn't be mad if the lineup was just Reeves, Connect, Ruri, Braun, and Anthony Davis. I think that's a really good lineup. I think, like I said, I think Connect needs to play more. I love that they're playing through AD, and AD just is answering the bell pretty much every single night, offensively and defensively. LeBron, he's doing his thing. I think the biggest thing LeBron has been doing over the past couple games is his rebounding. They need him to rebound the basketball, and he's been rebounding the basketball. You can't just leave AD out there to do everything. He's been rebounding the basketball, scoring when he needs to score. So yeah, what do you think about the Lakers? Granted, again, I will say this once again. I do not think, as currently constructed, they can win a championship. I think winning championships are over for Bron, KD, Steph, all these guys. But I do think, and actually one team I want to talk about after this is the Warriors, because I have some thoughts about that. But I do think that the Lakers can be a good basketball team and can have something to say down the stretch. I just don't think that they can win a championship as currently constructed. And I don't really see what deal can take them over the hump. Like who you got to move besides D'Lo? And the thing about D'Lo is he hasn't been as much of a criminal as people make him out to be. He just has very loud mistakes. Right? Like the missed layup on the fast break transition when Connect going crazy, or some of his shot selections. But you kind of need the irrational confidence guy of D'Lo because he'll hit some of them shits. And also, I think that, outside of, you have nobody else who can really fully conduct the team besides D'Lo on the squad. I think Austin can maybe a little bit, but you have no other. Gabe Vincent can't run the squad. So, even if you do trade D'Lo, you kind of need to get back somebody else who can defend, hit the 3 ball, but also be able to run a team for a few minutes at a time. I don't really know who that guy is, but what do you think about this Lakers squad? Do you think that you need to move off D'Lo, or is there somebody else that you see out there that you want to move off of?
I just think I really like the coaching change. I think that's been the spark of the recent success of the Lakers. They were 4-4, I believe, or 4-3, one or the other, and they ripped off a 3-game win streak ever since they moved D'Lo to the bench and they started Cam Reddish. I just think having a guy like Cam Reddish out there really helps. A guy whose main focal point is defense and just threes. That's all we need you to do. Harass the ball handler, hit an open corner 3. Dive on the floor, do your thing. That's why you're there. That's his main focus, as opposed to what D'Lo brought to the starting lineup. I think that move will help the Lakers, especially in the short term and possibly even in the long term. I like having a guy who can do that, as opposed to D'Lo. I know you said he's sometimes not really the guy, but a lot of times he is a culprit. A lot of defensive mistakes.
No, he be tweaking too.
A lot of defensive mistakes he makes. A lot of errant bad shot selections, and just sometimes just not looking like he's there all the way. So I think that starts with that, and I just also think it just has a lot to do with Anthony Davis. I believe he's the front runner for MVP right now. I'm not saying he's by far unanimous or anything like that. Obviously, a lot of other guys playing great basketball. But I think what Davis has been able to cover up from his Lakers team has just been exceptional. The ability to protect the paint on this team, protect the paint, guard the perimeter a little bit, finish at the rim at I think the highest clip in the league. Hit a cut. I know he's low. High 20s.
He might be higher now because he's has some decent shooting games. He might be higher now. He's hitting the threes he needs to hit. The ones where it's like, screen, roll, you pop, and you're sitting there wide open, you got to hit that shot. He's hitting the threes that he needs to hit.
Yeah, he's anchoring the defense, and to be doing this as the only guy on the roster who can do what he does and to still go out there and do it, it speaks volumes. He's only missed one game so far this year. I actually think AD is one of the most. I know he has a narrative, but I think he's one of the most. He's been one of the most durable superstars over the last 3-4 years, compared to other guys who've missed a ton of games. But I think that his ability to do what he's done, and him and the LeBron James duo, I think this team, that third guy has to, the third, fourth, and fifth guys have to be more clear in order for this team to see success in the postseason and even past that. And we just haven't seen that yet. I'm not sure if trades is the answer. Like you said, Lakers are kind of strapped right now. You already gave Vincent that $16, $17 million a year for him to come out here and shoot 10%.
He has been doing decently over the past couple of games, though. No, wait. No, wait. He hold on. He is a decent
last year, brother. They had the Gabe Vincent had the 0.5 points parlay last year. Everybody put the over on that shit, and he didn't.
That's funny as fuck. That's funny as fuck. 0.5 points. I put over. That's funny as hell. But no, like he's.
It did not hit. We don't want.
Oh look.
I think get some consistent production from third, fourth, or fifth guy. That's gonna be the biggest thing with him, and somebody to relieve AD a little bit and protect the paint and do some of the things, at least do a fraction of what he does. I think this team is in trouble.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think you're working Gabe Vincent in. He was pretty much hurt all year last year. I think he did hit some big shots against either the Spurs or the Grizzlies this week. So you're working him back in, but he's a guy that granted, working him back in, but maybe he could eat at some of those minutes when you need a guy who's like a 3-and-D type guy. The guy I did mention. I don't know if it's even possible for it to even happen, but a guy I did mention was like, I would love like a Davion Mitchell with the Lakers. A guy who can go out there and guard.
Cam Reddish?
Huh?
Another Cam Reddish?
I mean, I think he could run a team decently, though. He could bring the ball up and call a play, pass the ball, and get the fuck out the way.
I guess.
Okay, I feel you. But that was a guy that I had just mentioned. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, I don't think that this team could be a championship team, but I do think that they can have something to say down the stretch. Last but not least, the Golden State Warriors. I just want to say, I think everything they're doing is cute, but I don't think in an actual 7-game series.
I don't know, man.
I don't think in an actual 7-game series, when you scout for them over and over again, that they can do this.
It's getting 2022 vibes to me, and it just starts with the Warriors are defending their ass off.
They are playing good defense.
Not getting out clean looks against this Warriors team. Not getting clean. They're not getting what they want to get. They scheme for guys. They do a great job of blitzing guys, doubling guys, making guys get rid of the ball, making teams forcing teams to make those extra passes. And I think Wiggins has came back alive. I think they get minutes from Moody. The defense is swarming. I think the number 2 in defense this season, if not first now. But that's why I got right now. They're my favorite for the in-season tournament. And just go back to, I know Glasses always said that he always defense number 1. If they can keep defending like this and putting Steph Curry in positions to where Curry is their closer, and I also think Draymond is another year where he's putting himself into that Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Moody was with him on the podcast the other day talking about how much easier it is to play defense when Draymond Green is on the court with you. A lot of you just there and he's got your back. He's talking to you. He's an intimidating force at this point in the NBA. Nobody wants to. He had another flagrant the other night. Nobody wants to run into Draymond Green. Nobody running the paint, risk getting no. What is he gonna do? He might kick you. Just whatever. His force on defense, his ability to set Steph up, his ability to motivate the team. I just think that Kerr has done a hell of a job. I think even Kuminga, since getting benched, he has responded very well. He's been playing good basketball over the last couple of weeks. I think they're a very well-rounded team, and I think they figured defense out. And I think that's the most important thing. When you figure the game out defensively, especially nowadays, how hard it is to play defense when teams are running out all these dribble handoffs, 5 shooters, and all that stuff. When you can force teams to shoot back shots on a night in, night out basis, you got Steph Curry closing for you, and you got Buddy Hield shooting the way he's shooting the ball. I think that they probably need. I'm not too sure. Trace Davis and Kevin Looney. I feel like they could possibly use another big to.
They can use some rim protection.
Running and rim protection. But like I said, you still have Draymond Green there. He does a hell of a job with the rim, on the perimeter. I just think that this team, with those saying all that stuff, I just think it'd be very tough to beat this team in the 7-game series with the way that they have, with the messages and the tone that they set early this year. In the veteran experience they have being led by Steph and Draymond. I think you can never count that out. I'm not picking them as like the favorite anything this year, but I remember in 2022 everybody thought nobody really believed in that team either, and they kind of uh did the impossible.
That wasn't the impossible, but I get what you're saying. It wasn't the impossible, but like I get what you're saying.
It kind of was.
Uh,
I think TPJ he bet. I don't remember what good he bet me. He bet me a bottle. They wouldn't even make the playoff. And
I didn't, and I was like, they're gonna make the playoffs. Like they're gonna make the playoffs, bro.
That just shows what people were saying before it happened. That's why I call it the impossible.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I like what they're doing. We'll see if it continues. I just don't think that in a 7-game series, I think you can scheme out some of the others. Like Buddy Hield's averaging 17 points right now. He's playing the best basketball he's played since he was at Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I just don't think if we get into a 7-game series, he averages 17, 18, 19 points on me.
And it's still the same. I think Kirk can put him in place to do that.
Listen. I just think that when you scheming for him over 7 games, you can scheme some of the others out. They won't be an easy matchup. Like I said, I think it's over for all these guys when it comes to winning championships. But that don't mean I don't think that they can't have something to say, give some teams some go. But we can leave it there. Link back up next week. Talk about it again. Pavy Daily Takes. Joe, tell the people where they can find you at. Even though if you're watching this, I'm sure they know where they can find you at.
Good y'all. Yeah, on Twitter at the Jolt 2 S's. Instagram Joe R. Wilson. And thank y'all for tuning in. It was dope talking about the league again.
My man. And yeah, man, as always, like I said, Pavy's Daily Takes. We, every Saturday come in and do a little bit of a longer pod, just a little weekly roundup of everything that's been going on in the world of basketball. And yeah, man, as always, like I said, it's been Pavy Daily Takes. I got new music coming soon. Look out for that. You can stream the stuff that's already out on Spotify, Pavy. That's Pavy, pretty much every streaming service. And yeah, man, until next time, we will holla at